In December 2012, I traveled to the German city of Würzburg as part of research for my next book. While I was there, I took an impromptu tour of the city with my friend Jan, a young legal scholar interested in the relation between law and culture. This is the law school where he works. And this is his city.
Something to do with that there is no truth, that the good things you do might seem good only to you.
This is his music, too. During our tour, we came across this unusual, strangely beautiful place, and what Jan said about it got me thinking about a question I asked in the first video from my trip. What's the relation between the way things look and the legal ideals they embody? In my first video, I asked that question about a book, The Napoleonic Code. Here, Jan talks about a pair of buildings made from very different materials.
So tell us, where are we and what's this building?
We are here at the center of judiciary in Würzburg. We have two court buildings here dealing with civil law and penal law.
What's the building behind us?
Exactly behind us, this would be the modern part of the center from 2010. Whereas on this side we have the old part, which is from 1892 as far as I'm informed. The interesting thing about it is that we have two buildings side by side, very much representing very different aspects of law, symbolic aspects of law. So we have on the one side this very old building with raw, massive stone walls, representing power, authority. So it really says this is law, this is part of the superiority, and we are able to coerce you if we want to, in order to make you follow the rules that we have set up. And on the other hand, this new building, having all these glass features, you can even from outward look into the courtrooms and follow the procedure from outside, which, by the way, is why we are not standing more over there, because of course filming is not allowed. But anyway, so the idea of it, the symbolic meaning is transparency. So this really supposed to, law is something that is for the people, and the judgments are in the name of the people. So really different buildings representing different aspects of the law.
When you look at a building like this, what do you see?
I see a very glassy, transparent building. Very much represents the transparency that a legal system is supposed to have here in Germany. The idea that the judgments are made in the name of the people, that everybody can have insight and can control the justness of the judgments.
So when I look at a building like this, the criminal law courthouse in Würzburg, and all of the glass, I think also about all of the glass on the dome of the Reichstag in Berlin.
Yes.
Do you see that comparison as well?
Yes, I do see this comparison as well, because I think it's pretty much the same combination. You know, the old Reichstag again as the old building, and then there's a new element, and again it's circle, it's visibility, it's transparency. You make it visible by glass, by using glass.
In a way, the two buildings side by side represent the condition more generally of German law in the modern age.
Yes, this is the very interesting thing about it, because okay, we already commented on the transparency part of law that we want to see in our legal system, but on the other side you have this very big building, it's raw, massive walls, and it represents the power, the authority of law, and the fact that these are the public offices by the king at the time when it was built.
Shall we walk over there and see?
Yes, let's have a quick walk over there.
Excellent. tell us, what are we looking at now?
So now we're at the front side of the old court building, and you know, we have in German this expression Justizpalast. So this would be a palace for the judiciary, and I think this is pretty much what it represents. It's a place where inside you have the people in power, the authority, and I think you cannot really see it, but inside there is an artifact saying in very, very big letters, in the name of the people. So the idea of law that we now have. But quite interestingly, together with this architecture, it doesn't even reach the surface of the whole institution. So I think this is pretty much what this building stands for.
You mean there's inside a big sign that says in the name of the people, but you can't actually see it?
No, you have to be inside that thing pretty close in order to see it.
In the aftermath of World War II, Germany built a new democratic legal system from which all nations have a lot to learn. So what Jan said about the court buildings in Würzburg got me thinking about some of the other legal buildings I know that use glass and light to represent their ideals. Here's the Supreme Court of Iceland, and here's the ceiling just above one of the tables where attorneys make their arguments. A little reminder that someone is watching. But I especially thought about the other legal buildings I had seen on my trip from the European Union. Like the new democratic Germany, the EU is one of the war's lasting legal and constitutional consequences. When skeptics of the EU criticize its political institutions, they often say that those institutions possess a democratic deficit, and when they criticize EU law, they sometimes describe it as opaque. There's a tension between transparency and authority, between the new and the old. While I was traveling, I thought about how to capture this tension in images, like these from the European Court of Justice in Luxembourg.
I don't mind.
Or these from the European Parliament and other EU institutions in Brussels. I started asking myself some questions. Where to stand? What colors to highlight? How to represent the interplay between people and their legal buildings? How to capture the interplay of stone and glass? As I continue to reflect about my trip through Europe and its law, I'll be keeping these questions in mind.
Mesdames et messieurs, nous arrivons à Gare de Ciney, la Gare de Ciney.
I hope you'll join me.